So I untangled that mess. That wasn't too pretty to see and boring, but I filled this box with all the things that I had dropped on the side so we can carry on going through my swatches. And this looks like a mini sweater because I was trying out the short rows shaping for the shoulder and the sleeve for the Eternum sweater using some leftover yarn. I don't know what it is exactly. And oh, here's my swatch in the Brooklyn Tweed Shelters yarn to try out the stitch pattern that I had picked for the Spalding pullover. Very woolly. And here are some sparkling cable swatches for a summer top, just to see what the cables would look like if I want to use them in some design. And here I've even attached a label to this yarn, and I can see that this is the swatch for the bomber, everyday bomber that I'm wearing almost every day. More cables. I love this cable actually. It's the bottom of the La Grace vest for the Rara magazine, and it looks great on both sides. So I think that I might use it again in some design. It's a very nice cable. Honestly, no idea why I have so many of the 1001 Suns motifs in color work. I think I'm just trying out yarn and then picking the first motif I find. That could be it. Random stitch pattern swatch in some worsted weight yarn, and the same stitch pattern swatch in a different worsted weight yarn. No idea what I was trying to do. Oh yeah, this is me knitting up the zebra yarn for the Datura cardigan to see how it knits up. And this is me trying to figure out how mohair and another yarn would look together. One strand, two strands, and how many increases I'd have to do to get a ruffle, I think. And that never amounted to anything either. This is Lit Lopi, and yeah, that's for other people. Oh, this is a swatch for the Ananta cardigan where I was trying out my held together yarns. Very, 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 very nice color. I love this color so much. I gave the cardigan as a gift to my mother-in-law, so I don't have it. And this is not a swatch, but this is one of the mittens that I made from a pair of mittens I made for my son in the yarn. I had dyed myself with avocado peels, but there's only one left because apparently he stuffed the other one behind the radiator at nursery and they couldn't get it out, and it's lost forever. So I have one as a souvenir. And then here we have a swatch in Wild Atlantic Yarns Silk Merino for a top project that I started 2 years ago, and once again I stopped working on it because I wasn't really happy with the method I used to describe the instructions for different sizes. So I think that's the one reason I haven't done too many cable projects. I love cables, I love working with cables, but then when it comes to writing patterns for them, I'm not sure if I want to do 8 different charts for the different sizes or find some clever way to describe them in text. That is just the thing that I need to figure out at some point. One more swatch, trying out some color work ideas for Spin Cycle Trine and Dream State that also didn't come to be. And Oh yeah, this is me trying to use the linen with some other yarn to make it less see-through. And that hasn't been a project yet. And here we have the Pagan Sky fingering version swatch that's currently in testing and due to be released in September. Some more cables and bubbles that haven't become anything yet. And some more mohair swatches. I mean, what was I doing here? Who can tell? Oh, this is nice. One to keep. I was trying out the wool decanted DK yarn before Metten's pullover to see how that knits up. And here is a swatch for the Subtlety that was released a couple of years ago. And there is me trying to knit up a chain plied hand spun color changing yarn. It looks fairly pretty, but then what happened to it? Nothing. I don't know. Nothing happened to it. Random swatch for gauge probably. More cable swatches. Oh yeah, this is the knitted in and lace weight held together for a cabled sort of cape that I got stuck. Guess for what reason? And some more trying to knit the Estonian Rusimane technique in the round, which wasn't taught in the workshop, or was, but I was trying to, oh no, I think it was. But there's some interesting things you had to do to make sure it could work in the round. Swatch, the perfect swatch, where you don't have to work the full width for the whole height, and you can get 10 centimeters of width as well as 10 centimeters of length, but quicker. So yeah, that used to be a method. And oh my goodness, talk about the socks in a bit. So here are even more cables. I think it's for that summer top. I tried various different yarns and I couldn't pick which one I like the most. Oh, this is the swatch for what became, which way am I supposed to look at it now? Goodness me. Okay, oh yeah, so that's just the swatch for the gauge, and then I'm trying out the construction for the refreshing tee, where the body is in half brioche but the sleeves are in a different stitch, and that became the refreshing tee. Me trying out Donegal tweed, and I still have the yarn and I still haven't done anything with it. No, not sure why. This is just part of the beanie project where I was trying to calculate the gauge. Very illegally tiny swatch for that. And another illegally tiny swatch for, not sure. And now we hit a bunch of socks. So here is my first ever sock design, which ended up being published in the Rada magazine last year. It's a toe-up lace weight sock, so I made the foot really way too long because I was not careful in realizing how long the gusset will be, so I made that to be the swatch to see how the lace pattern will look. And then I made another one in a different yarn for I don't know, another reason. Just because it was my first sock pattern, I made so many. And then the official first published, self-published sock was this Dynamism sock. And this one is such a tiny version. I think I'm not sure why I even continued. I just wanted to try the concept all the way through, even though it's clearly too small for a normal adult human being. So it's just become a big swatch. I think I have a few more socks. This one is a secret one, and this one never became a sock. It was also a submission. Not really sure why I chose these colors. They don't look good at all, but oh hey. And then this box is empty. I could start putting more things in it. Right, so here we go. I think I was trying out a construction for a cabled sweater that will have an opening similar to what I'm wearing and how that would look, and adding that in double. So this is like a construction swatch that worked out well, so I could use that idea at some point. And trying out a lace pattern in the worsted weight yarn, because why not? More lace patterns. This is actually pretty cool, but I have zero recollection of why and for what I made that. Oh yeah, I think I know. I was gonna make lacy socks like that, and then after scrolling through Ravelry I found some socks that used this exact stitch pattern, so that is immediately a no-go. Tiny illegal sized cable pattern swatch, whatever. And here is a swatch for what became the Sockness cardigan that was published in the Pom Pom magazine 2 years ago. And here is a little what do you call it, like a collar or a dicky or whatever that I made for my son Micah, but it's using some alpaca, and he found it too scratchy. I even like knitted his name in it, but he's not gonna wear it because he says it's too scratchy and there's nothing I can do. Oh yeah, and this sock was a submission and that didn't come to fruition yet. Maybe I'll release it one day. It's basically the tiger print pattern in a sew-up sock. It could be the companion sock to the Wildcat sweater one day. And here we have the Kristine Cardigan swatch that's currently in testing. Ooh, and here I was trying out the yarn for the Fire Lily sweater using a very famous Latvian motif from Latvian, what's it, folklore, religion, mythology, used a lot. And random swatch. And whatever is this? I mean, it uses Nutiden in one strand on really big needles, and it's like a 5 by 5 centimeter swatch. That's gotta go. That's shameful. And whoa, I think this is the swatch for what became the Marquisette sweater, because I can see that I have tried the edging here with a double knit band and some lace and all that. So yeah, that one I'm keeping. And finally, here is my latest swatches for a a sock where I'm trying to experiment with the afterthought heel, but instead of the typical where it's shaped like a toe, I tried to work it like a Dutch heel, and I also added a bit of a gusset to see what that looks like, and the fit is great, but I'm not sure it's worth the fiddling that it required. And whoa, I've got more yarn. That's it. We're through all the swatches. Great. I have some projects to rip out, some yarn, and an empty box, and a full box of swatches. So there we go. Thank you.